fear of losing your deposit. Personalizing a rental can seem like an uphill battle, but fear not. Today we are diving into creative ways you can transform your space without making permanent changes or spending a fortune. Joining me today is an expert in creating stylish, renter-friendly interiors. I'll let him introduce himself.
I'm Vincent Mugambi, the CEO of Shin Interiors Limited, based in Nairobi, and also we have an office in Mombasa. Yeah, we majorly.
What do you do in your company?
Yeah, what we do the setups for interiors, especially commercial, and the rentals, residentials also. If you have your own home, we also do furnishing, renovations, and also we do construction, not the major construction. But now, according to our topic today, we normally do rentals, sana. We still have products which we usually have to put on the people who are not, maybe we say it's a short-term habitation, where you have to live somewhere for maybe 1 year, or a few months, or even 5 years. So we help them to build some lasting impressions so that they can live in a place deserving for the time they are going to be live there.
You mentioned something quite interesting before, of course, we continue with the conversation. You also do interior design for commercials. So
Yes.
when you're choosing the type of interior to use for those that want to in the commercial space, is it similar to the ones in our rentals?
Mostly you see the commercial areas just like the office, the church. They are somewhat similar. The features are almost similar, but maybe they may vary depending on, you see, your home, you want comfortability. Commercial places you design for you to sell, to look more attractive. So there are some different aspects when you come to commercial interiors rather than the residential. Yeah.
Now that you do this quite often, tell us
Yes.
about some of those challenges that renters face when they want to put an interior design in their homes.
Yeah, I think mostly you get the main challenge is the condition that they get their spaces. For instance, if you look for rental space, either commercial or residential, we have this challenge of this is something you're not designed for you to live in. So you are trying to fit in a space which maybe you say them that the landlord designed for their own maybe merit. But now what we do, the most challenging thing is the features that these people do. Now, for instance, you get the biggest challenge is the tiling. For you are coming to rent a space and you have a theme, but you get the landlord maybe put some tiles which are not going along with your features, maybe the curtains and the rest. So we have a challenge of also getting an old building, an old space, and you may feel like, yeah, it's old, but you are new. It's a new place for you, but it seems old. So that's another big challenge. The kitchen, the wardrobes, you see those screws are peeling off. The paints, they're not the paint that you want to have in your scheme of maybe your scope of your interior. So these are the challenges most renters get, but we're here to address them and see how we can help them, because there are things that you can do, and maybe you live your best, then when you leave, the owner can retain the condition of the same structure the way it was.
For tiles, for instance, what are the available options when nimepata tiles hapo na hazijanifurahisha? How do I customize it to my own personal preference?
Yeah, if you get the old tiles or cracked tiles, we normally have some new inventions where we have 3 types of floors you can have on top of the tiles. Number one, most people do the carpet, but you see the small piece carpet, they are like you put them in the middle. so the rest of the part can be seen. To cater for that, we are importing a vinyl type of floor ambayo tunaita mkeka wa mbao. This floor you just install it. You install it from inch to inch and it looks like a new floor. When you want to vacate, you can just unpeel it. It has a very, very nice glue. Once you unplug it, it leaves your floor as it was. That is the number one. We also have the wooden floors. These are the engineered wood. The engineered wood doesn't require any glue, doesn't require any cement or sand. You just click and then you install them. By clicking them, it doesn't mean you have to do anything else apart from just joining them, then laying them on the floor. And they are just like that. That is floor number 2. Then you have the SPC. SPC floor also, you just click and install it. And after that, maybe you are there for 5-10 years, you want to vacate, you just unplug your tiles and you go away with them.
All right, maybe you can tell us the available options for tiles. Nimeenda mahali nimepata nyumba, but the tiles are not my taste. So what are the available options that you have?
Yeah, we normally have like 4 options, which are rental friendly. Number 1, you may get some buildings which have their own terrazzo floor. So we came up with a type which is known as laminate. This will be wood or vinyl laminate or SPC. These 3 types, you can just install them on top of the tiles. For instance, the vinyl looks like wood. I hear some people calling it mkeka wa mbao. It's a very common name in the building industry, where you just have to install it on top of any type of floor, the tiles or the terrazzo. Advantage, you can do it in a residential area, also in commercial area. That is in our own office or maybe even churches and the rest, because you see most of these people, they rent a space. But for the residential, you have the residential quality for the vinyl, you have residential quality for the wood laminate, and also the SPC laminate. All these ones are just installed on top of the tiles. Now, if you want to vacate, you just unplug them. They are not installed using any glue or cement. You just plug in and install on the floor. Yeah, ni kama kuwekelea tu. Where ukiekelea kwa edges, you just seal with the skirting. Now it makes them strong, like the ones you have done in our office here. This office, we had some tiles. Then he came up and done some wooden laminates, as you can see there. And they are very intact, yeah.
Okay, now maybe you can take us through the walls. I want to paint my wall, but you know, most landlords don't allow for tenants to repaint these walls. So what do I do in this case?
Yeah, in the case of walls, I think when I started interior design, I started with wall designs. So these are part where I got some very big variety of options you can use. And for rentals, I usually recommend the wallpapers. Wallpapers are vinyl. They are installed using glue. But when you want to vacate, you just unpeel it without affecting the tenants' paint.
The landlord's paint.
Also, there are some tenants who just paint they just paint. But that is option number 1, which is a very eco-friendly material. We have them in our stock. We usually have the flattened panels. These panels, you just put them using clips. If you do them with contact glue, when you remove them, they remove the paint. But if you install them using the clips, they won't remove the paint. You just unscrew the clip and then you remove them. We also have, for instance, let's go to a more complex one, the kitchen tiles. You see the kitchen, they are part of walls, yes, but people install tiles on top of them. So we usually have a wall sticker. This wall sticker, they looks like tiles. And you just unpeel, it has a glue self-adhesive, and then install on top of the tiles. Also the bathrooms as well. All these things are done for enhancement of the walls. Once you want to vacate, it's very easy to install them.
All right, let's take a very short break at this point. When we come back, you tell us why do people choose tiles on kitchen walls instead after this break.
Vile unavyojua watoto wengi sana hawana namna. Mimi ningependelea watoto wasome.
I'm here to stress on education. At the same time, let us actually do any kind of sport that we are doing. Sport speaks the best language to everybody.
Tunataka tutafute talents, zile raw talents kutoka kule nyumbani mashinani mahali tuko leo.
Hizi mbio za Chepsaita, like all other sports, zinaleta watu pamoja.
We want to use this event to uplift the lives of the community.
Anafurahia hii mchezo sana. Hata sikaange naambianga watu tuende Chepsaita.
Wanafunzi wakimbie ili wakuze talanta ya mbio ama kuhimiza tena elimu.
This is the place to be. Hapa ndipo mahali wanastahili kuwa tarehe 7. Wale watoto walikimbia last year, wamekimbia mpaka wamefuka mipaka zetu za Kenya.
umemaliza kukula, hizo stools unaziweka mahali. That will help you to manage the space. Number 2, if you have your dining space, you use your dining space appropriately. Let go, people ende pale wakule, let the living room just be the living room, just to sit. There are some these, you go to high-end places, you get even no table at the living room. It's just a place where you sit. The seats, they have somewhere you can place your phones and the remotes. Also, that one helps you to manage the space. And there are fundis who can customize such seats, where they wanakuwekea mahali unaweza weka kikombe ya chai, unaweza weka simu yako. They have those consoles. All those things, they are to manage your small space. Yeah.
All right, now let's, you've touched on something quite interesting, and it's taking me to this question now. I have a very big room, but now hakuna hiyo compartment ya dining room and the living room. So how do I go about that?
If there's a need for you having a dining and the space is too big, you can just have it on the side of the kitchen. Probably, I think that is the scope of being with an open kitchen mind, where they build one living room, which serves as the living room as the dining, then you have the kitchen. If you realize maybe they have a high countertop between the dining and the kitchen. Number 1, the countertop, you can use it wisely and have the bar stools. You know the stools which are zile mrefu, where people can use them to sit and eat from the dining, kitchen, countertop. Other, you can have the dining, yes. You have seen the room is big, so you just have to place the dining. 1 inch is the dining, 1 inch is the living room. But maybe you can have a divider or not. Some people divide them using some screen partitions. Others, they just leave it like that. But because the space is big, it doesn't mean you have to declutter everything. As well, you manage your space. Yeah.
All right. Now let's talk about those people who don't have access to natural light. What are the options available for them?
On lighting, I love something about lighting because this landlord, they have a tendency of just having one provision for light, especially the center one. Now, watu wengine kama sisi, you just have to put the bulb and you're good to go. As the time evolves, you get, let me quote the Chinese guys. They are very creative. They have brought up some 3 kind of lights. Number 1, there's this light we call the ambient light. The ambient light is the main light. That is the light which is providing you with brightness within the room. Obvious, the bulb, right? But now you can have a very fancy chandelier, a hanging light or the pendant light. You just hang it in the middle of the house. Number 1, it will provide you light. Number 2, it will add some decor. That is light number 1. Number 2, you usually have the task light. The task light, I'm assuming you are a person who does some studying or some homework. Maybe the kids have somewhere to do their homeworks. The task light, hiyo unaweka ni kama table lamps. Some people do table lamps. Others, they can do the corner lamps. Hiyo ni light inaweka tu kwa corner, inamulika mahali unafanyia kazi. Others do the lights we call wall brackets. These wall brackets zinawekwa kwa ukuta. I think you have seen them.
Maybe you can show us later.
Yeah, I'll show you later. Hizi ni light unaweka kwa ukuta. This will be an additional light for the center light, and will make the rooms somehow bright, and as well it will create the theme that you want in your room. Yeah, because they have different colors. Lighting, you have the warm light, you have the white light, you have the neutral light. Depends with what you want.
All right. Thank you so much. Maybe something for new renters before we close?
For the new renters, I would like to urge them to aspire to live large. Even if you are starting with a studio. You see, I usually tell people that where you live, that is your place. Don't wait until you build your own place so that you can live the way you want. If finances allow, hire an interior designer. Let them do something we call facelift for that apartment or that studio or that 1 bedroom. And after all, we will guide you on the things that you do, the features you will apply. And these same features, if you vacate the room, we can help you apply them to your next room. So it will have to be very cost effective, number 1. Then you don't have to do a lot of things because, yeah, it's not your place. So you don't have to cause any damage to the structure and other things. You just have to do things that you know. When you are told to go out, you can live along with them.
All right. Thank you so much for gracing the Realtor today. We do appreciate your time. There you have it. Little is much. It's not your place. Just use whatever you have. And that's it for this week's episode. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Anne Odida, and see you next time.